let's stay on that story now. Political parties have had mixed reactions to the ruling. Let's take a look at what some of them had to say.
Jacob Zuma Foundation is not impressed by the ConCourt judgment on the former president. The foundation's spokesperson, Mmusi Maimane, says there are some inconsistencies with the judgment.
The Jacob Zuma Foundation is shocked about what has just happened, where the counsel from judges of the Constitutional Court seems not to have been heeded by the other colleagues within the Constitutional Court. You have a situation here where judges are saying this kind of judgment is unconstitutional. They are saying this kind of judgment erodes the rights of President Zuma. But the others in this ConCourt have just steamed ahead with this thing. The fact that this judgment is not unanimous is a problem, as it were, because it means that other considerations other than the law had to be brought to bear, as it were. Justice Jafta and Justice Theron were very clear, very clear that the manner in which the majority is operating is inconsistent with the Constitution. So here we are sitting with a situation where the unconstitutionality of this judgment is being pronounced by the judges of the highest court in the land.
At the same time, MKVA spokesperson Carl Niehaus has labeled the decision to sentence Jacob Zuma to a 15-month jail sentence as absolute outrageous.
The decision of the Constitutional Court to sentence President Jacob Zuma to a 15-month sentence of imprisonment is a fundamental and absolute outrage. It is now the democratic duty of every peace-loving South African who wants to see justice to stand up, to resist, and not to accept this outrage. We have read the letters and the documents that President Zuma sent to all of us in South Africa, explaining his fundamental reasons for not submitting himself to this kind of political targeting in the guise of justice. Now it is for all of us as South Africans to stand up, to resist this within our democratic and constitutional rights, and unequivocally to register our outrage.
One SA leader, Mmusi Maimane, says the National Prosecuting Authority should use this time to also prosecute former President Jacob Zuma for other corruption charges that he is facing.
At this point in time, Mr. Zuma is going to potentially has been found again for being in contempt of court. He also faces 700 charges of corruption, and those charges are just as significant, if not more important. So I think if we're going to talk about accountability, it ought not to be selective. We ought to ensure that the criminal processes are not lagged down. And it would have been ideal that what has been a 15-year case, in contrast to what has been a few months of Mr. Zuma being in contempt of court, should have been expedited. The NPA should have ensured that Mr. Zuma, as he's having his day in court, that prosecution is expedited, so that everybody is held accountable. My principle is not a personal matter against Mr. Zuma. It is about the principle of the rule of law.
On the other hand, the Inkatha Freedom Party has welcomed the ConCourt ruling against the former president. The party says the guilty verdict is a victory for the rule of law and affirms that no one is above the law.